All right, so oh my God, look at my hair. Jeez. Look like Billy Mitchell. I look like I ate Billy Mitchell. Now, if there's one thing that you want to take away from this entire video, as long as you remember just this little part right here, then you'll be fine. It'll change things. Your website is your home. Social media is rented land. As long as you remember that, then you will walk away knowing something very, very valuable. But stick around for, a much bigger explanation. I mean, this title of the video speaks for itself. I mean, your art needs a home, period. I'm amazed how many artists out there that are actively selling and doing pretty well, that don't have a website. And then there's a lot of struggling artists that, they say, oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I could make more money at this. I wish I could. My first question is always, do you have a website? No. And then the ones who, are selling and they're wanting to grow bigger and they're wanting to expand and, do branch out, and I said, well, let me see your website, and it's terrible. You got to put some effort into it. And one of the biggest mistakes I see creators make is building everything on platforms they do not control. And I'm not saying Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff is bad. They're amazing tools. I use all of them. But at the end of the day, you don't own those platforms. They could disappear tomorrow. The algorithm can change tomorrow. I'm turning on this fan. It's so hot in this room. It's ridiculous. Sorry for the fan noise. See, the audience can disappear overnight. And we've seen this happen. Social media is rented land. Think about social media like renting an apartment. You could decorate it. You can invite folks over. You could build relationships in it. Hang your favorite picture in the bathroom. Put your favorite chair in the living room, or, anywhere. Put your favorite chair in the bathroom. I don't care. I'm not your boss. But the landlord still owns the building. They could change the rules whenever they want. And they could not fix the freaking floor in the hallway and still up my rent. A website is the place where you actually own the property. And yes, I'm talking about owning your own domain. We'll get into that. It's super easy, though. Your website is the one place online that represents you completely. You decide how it looks, what people see, what the experience is. There's no competing content next to your stuff. I can't stress how important a website is. There's no algorithm deciding who sees you. All the SEO settings and all that stuff, that's up to you. I don't know anything about SEO, and my website's on point. So I asked an expert, ChatGPT. I said, hey, what do I put in these SEO boxes? And here's what my website's about. Here's the URL. Here's all that. Here's what I do. I'm not going to sit there and take a class on SEO or hire somebody when I could just, that's just so bad. An artist saying, oh, I could just hire somebody, but I'll use AI instead. Yeah, sorry, it's a tool, and I, sell a painting once every freaking Olympics, so I got to make do. But make sure your SEO is on point, because that makes you discoverable. That gets people in the door. So I just asked ChatGPT, what do I put in this box? What do I put in this box? An artist using ChatGPT, yeah, get out your pitchforks, but it's a tool. You know that Da Vinci and Michelangelo used the camera obscura, right? Okay. It's a tool. That's all it is. Your website is the central hub for everything you create. Everything should branch off of your website. When they say, hey, are you online? Yeah, give them your website. Say all the social media stuff is on the links, or on the you'll see a button for the other social media stuff if that's your thing. But I don't tell them, oh yeah, I'm on Instagram at, or I'm on TikTok at, or I'm on YouTube at. I just give them my website. Everything's there. It makes you look established. I mean, a website really changes how people perceive your work, especially if it's designed well. There's a difference between someone who posts online and someone building something. And that's a huge difference. It shows you take your craft seriously and you're willing to put time into that presentation. When I was designing the website, and I use Wix, and I used their paid thing to take that Wix branding off of it. Got my domain through GoDaddy. It's like $20 a year, something like that. And Wix, you don't even have to use the paid one. Mine's like $25 a month or something. You don't even need that. If you're just an artist with a website, and you post all your music elsewhere or post all your art elsewhere or, whatever else, it's like you just need a place to land. But you need one. It gives people confidence that you're committed. Professional doesn't mean corporate. It means intentional. And that's what I was going for. And when I was designing my website, I kind of thought that it needs to be a glimpse inside your head. It needs to fit the aesthetic of the kind of art that you do. Obviously, you don't want to paint dark stuff like I do, and then you pull up the website and it's all pastels and flowers and lambs, I want it to look like you just walked into a portal to hell. It's a dark, kind of lonely place. And if you have trouble designing it, I mean, I'm not affiliated with Wix, but if you're having trouble designing it and, stuff like that, use things like ChatGPT. Use Wix's AI filter. I know all of you want to avoid AI like the plague. So many artists, no, we're not using that. I'm not telling you to use it to create the thing that you're creating. I'm just saying use it as the tool that it is. You're sitting there, and in this box on your phone or on your desk, there is an expert that could analyze market trends in a second and make it up to date. It knows the entirety of art history. It knows design. It knows web design. It knows HTML. It knows code. It knows... I could just keep going. You have an expert sitting right there in front of you. And it's better than any expert will ever be. And you don't have to pay it. Now, if I was making serious money as a painter, I would much rather, pay a human being. But it's a tool. That's all it is. I don't use it to create anything. I'm sitting there, real time, paintbrush in hand, basically colored margarine on canvas and just going at it at the end of the day. Use things like ChatGPT, man. It will help you. It is an expert. You're sitting there with a PhD level person. Ask it questions. Hey, should I use white for this text, or should I use kind of a bone color? Should this be, should this picture be over here? Do that stuff. Because that back in the day, there was somebody in the, 1600s or 1700s. How long have synthetic brushes been around? 1970s? Really? Wow. I thought they were older than that. But I guarantee you there was somebody in the 1970s, some art critic or something, or some painter that was like, oh, you use synthetic brushes? Oh, God. Oh, that's cheating. You don't want to do that. It's not really art, You've got to use the original brushes. Animal hair glued to stick is the only way you can do it. And I guarantee there were people back in Da Vinci's day that were like, oh, you're using shadow transfer. Oh my God, you're using the camera obscura. That's cheating. He's not really an artist. I guarantee there were people back then that said stuff like that. And there's people now saying ChatGPT is cheating. You can't. Why? If you want some knowledge, you want some help designing something, not doing the art for you and passing it off as your own, that's messed up, and that is not cool. And people can tell. I don't care how good AI gets. People can tell. You're not fooling anybody. Anyway, rant over. But just to give you some of my own, just to give you my own experience, when I started building my own art business, I knew I needed a place that belonged to me. Social media is where people discover me, right? My website is where they actually learn about my work. And that's how it should be. It gives people a place to see my paintings, my story, what I'm building. It becomes part of the bigger picture. A website gives you control. Platforms can limit how you present yourself. A website lets you tell the full story. A website is a bigger glimpse into the overall infrastructure of what you're building. That's where they discover you, is on social media. The website is the hub for everything. Whenever you sell something or talking to somebody about your work, always point them to the website. Especially for me, because I have so many other ventures, you know, my books and my music and stuff. I mean, you could have your portfolio, your about page, your contact information, your shop if you have one. You're not just another post in the feed. You're building a brand. I know people hate saying that these days. Not everything has to be a personal brand. Yeah, you know what? Well, I say if you're good at something, don't do it for free. Period. I'm good at taking globs of, like I said, you know, room temperature margarine with pigment in it and making pictures out of it. And that's not easy. I can move. See that? With that thing back there? See that? Drum set? See? That means I can move all of my limbs independently at the same time. And play multiple. A drum set is not one instrument. It is multiple instruments you're playing at once. I happen to be pretty decent at it. So if people want my time on that instrument, they're going to pay for it. That's just how it is. The people who say, oh, you don't need to have a personal brand and all that. Have you looked at the people who are saying stuff like that? Those are the buy my course dudes. Those are the ones who are selling merch and have brand deals. Of course they're going to tell you that because they don't want any competition. A lot of people think that there is a myth here. I mean, a lot of people think websites are only for making sales. But a website is way more than that. It builds credibility, kids. It creates opportunities. It gives people a way to connect with you. You know, a website should, like I said, be the glimpse inside of your head. It should hold everything together. And it's super important. One of the biggest advantages of having a website is owning your connection with your audience. And the email list is a big one. I will always own my domain as long as I pay for it. I'll always have, you know, that Wix site. But even if Wix goes down tomorrow, I own the domain. So none of my past posts have to change. Asylum817.com. See my little logo down there? That's not going to change because I own the domain. Wix goes down tomorrow. Cool. I'll find another hosting platform. Website's still going to work. And your email list. That's a big one too. You own that. Whatever disappears tomorrow, whatever website goes kaput, you know, you own that. Social media followers are not the same as relationships, and you get relationships with a website. Newsletter, email list, direct connection gives you something valuable. You're not depending completely on an algorithm. That's what a website is. You are building a community. Websites are very important. And just the most subtle design changes. You guys have seen my art. Let's take a look at my website. All right, let's do a display capture. Turn off my camera. Okay, here's my website. You guys have seen the kind of art that I do. It's very dark. It's very, you know, kind of lonely stuff. I've always been a minimalist. Which is cool because web design has gone toward that trend and corporate design has gone toward that trend. I know not everybody likes it, but I was a minimalist before it was cool. Websites should not be too busy. Coffee. But here's the big thing. One of the first things somebody should see, I'm talking one wheel scroll, or it should really be visible before you start scrolling at all. My big thing, have that freaking sign up for email list right here. It needs to be like one of the first things, if not the first thing that they see. It has your about thing on there. I should change that about us right there because, yeah, I'm a solo act now, kids. We have our TikTok and our Instagram down here. Email. I always stress, don't put your entire portfolio on your website. I go by the 15 rule. Have 15 of your best paintings and make sure that you put 2 or 3 ones on there that have sold, so it makes it look like your artwork is desirable. And if you have sold stuff, you're not fibbing or anything. Just whenever you sell a piece, don't go run to your website and update it right away. People need to know that your stuff is selling. And there's a lot of design, especially with Wix, but 15. That's all you need, man. I just finished that one. See? Indiana Jones is done. Woo! And it was a commission, so I marked it sold. But super simple. Just 15 pieces of art. That's all you need. Then you can click here to see where the art's at. My storefront is Saatchi Art. Or you can go here and see the whole kit and caboodle. This is the entire portfolio here. Probably the cleanest way to do it. Commissions and licensing. I tried to make it as least boring, the least boring as possible to read. But this is always going to be a little more informational. There's just no getting away from that. I thought this was relevant to put here. Licensing, commissions. I have a form right here to request a quote for a commission. Commission status, currently open. And then other ventures. The Strange Places podcast, my novels, and this YouTube channel. I'm working on some stuff with the music right now, trying to get a new site up for that. So that's not on there at the moment. But yeah, Wix is super easy. Since I have to change that stupid thing on there about us, what should we say about the artist? But yeah, this is the back end for Wix. I'm not, sponsored by them or anything like that. It's just I find Wix to be the most intuitive, and it has an AI feature if you need some help. I used ChatGPT and their AI filter to help me design it. Like, I need something that goes with this aesthetic, and I gave it an example of a few of my paintings and gave me font color suggestions and what fonts to use. Where's the about part? What should we change this to? About the artist? Or just about? Oh, hell, I don't know what to say there. See? This is where stuff like ChatGPT comes in. Let's say on my website, I need an about paragraph, but the heading, what should I say? And then the artist behind the work. Some of these are a little pretentious. Let's go a little less pretentious. The artist. Okay, I kind of like that. About the artist. That's what I was going with anyway. Then we just change that. We save it. Publish. I love Wix, dude. Sometimes it's a little wonky with their pre-built layouts, but go back to Asylum 817. There we go. Cool. But yeah, you just saw me make a change right there, live, no cutting or anything like that. It's super fast. It works great. Keep it spared, minimal. 15 paintings that, and as you, let's say I paint something tomorrow that is like, oh yeah, this one's really weak compared to that, I'll update it. But once you sell something, don't remove it from your website. I mean, think about when someone discovers your work. They like a painting or a video or a piece of music that you made or an interpretive dance that you did. I know it's not the only art out there. They see you making pottery and they like your pottery. Where do they go next? What do they do? A website. A website. I can't talk today. A website answers that question immediately. It gives curiosity somewhere to land. Don't wait until you're big. A lot of creators think they'll make a website once they're successful. But success usually comes because you built a foundation first. You don't build after the opportunity arrives. You build so you're ready when the opportunity arrives. Preparation creates momentum. And you saw my website. It doesn't have to be the second coming of the internet, you know? It's just keep it clean, keep it minimal, keep it nice. Super easy. Register your domain with GoDaddy, go to Wix or some other platform, and you saw it. It doesn't have to be, you don't need to be a college professor in web design, but it does have to look good. Your first website does not have to be perfect. Mine is in, I think it's like 10th version or something like that. It's gone through a lot of iterations in the past. Your website doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to exist. It will change as you grow. Trust me. It will change. Your first version is just the beginning. The important thing is having a home base. I cannot stress enough the importance of having a website. If you're serious about building something, you got to own your own corner of the internet. A place that isn't going to go bye-bye because some CEO didn't like his bonus. Use social media. Not telling you not to. Use every platform available. You saw my website. I got buttons for social media everywhere. But don't forget to build something that belongs to you. Your work deserves its own home. I think the biggest thing I want people to take away from this is that you don't wait until you made it to start acting like what you're building matters. I said that weird. Don't wait until you've made it to start acting like what you're making now matters. That sounds right. Okay. I heard it in my head and it sounded weird. A lot of people think once I have success, I'll build the website. Once I have an audience, I'll take this seriously. Once people care, then I'll put myself out there. But almost everything meaningful in life happens the other way around. You've realized this, yes? You build before anybody's watching anything. You prepare before you have proof. You create the space before the opportunity arrives. And now that's difficult because we love certainty. We like guarantees. We want to know something will work before we put our heart into it. But that's how creative lives are just built. That's just, a painting starts as a blank canvas. A song starts with an idea. A business starts as a person sitting there wondering, could this be something? The beginning always looks small because, most times it even looks foolish. But every single person who builds something meaningful has to start there. Social media is incredible. It's connected artists, musicians, writers, creators in ways that were never possible before. Use it. Use the hell out of it. Share your work. Meet people. Build relationships. But remember that those platforms are tools too. Website is foundation. Those platforms can change in a second. Algorithms can change. Trends can change. Your website, your portfolio, your home base, that belongs to you. It's the place where someone could find your work and understand who you are. Social media is the sign pointing people to the door. Your website is the house. For you people who are into statistics, I got some for you. 64% of online art collectors have purchased art online. 64%. A significant portion of collectors are already comfortable buying art digitally, meaning having a professional place to view the work matters. 21% of online art builders said 75% of their annual art budget is spent online. Online is not just for cheap prints. Serious collectors use it. Artists with their own websites are much more likely to say the internet helped them reach a wider audience. 75% of artists with websites reported this benefit. Collectors often research artists before buying stuff. A website gives them a place to learn the story, see the body of work, read statements, build trust before purchasing. Social media followers are not owned by the artist. As I said, algorithms change, accounts get restricted, reach can disappear. A website and an email list gives you something you control. A website acts as a home base for your brand. Social media is discovery, yeah, but your website is is where someone goes when they think, "Who is this person?" Art buyers want context. Studies and industry research found artist websites emphasize that collectors respond to information about the artist and artwork, not just a picture. As I've been saying this entire time, people buy the artist, not the art. And I think I think there's something deeper about building a home for your work. It's not just for other people, it's for you. It's you making a decision. I'm taking this seriously. Not because you're already successful, not because you have everything figured out, but because you believe enough in what you're creating to give it a place to exist. A lot of people are waiting for permission, like the last video we talked about. They're waiting until they're good enough. They're waiting until they're ready. But you don't become an artist because someone gives you permission. You become one because you create stuff. You don't become a business owner because someone approves you. You became one because you started, right? I know this because I've lived it. When I started painting, I didn't have all the answers, dude. I didn't know exactly where it would lead. I knew I just needed to create. And then it became one painting, one opportunity, one connection, one step at a time. That's how it works. That's how almost everything works. The things that change your life usually don't feel huge while they're happening. They feel like little choices, showing up, making the thing, trying again, building something, even when nobody's paying attention yet. So, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'm not ready, I'm not big enough yet, remember this: you don't build because you've already arrived. You build because you're becoming. Create the home before the guests arrive. Build the frame before the picture gets there. And I know this seems super simple, but sometimes we need reminded of this stuff. Build someday, because someday you might look back and realize the thing you were preparing for wasn't somewhere in the future. You were building it the entire time. That's all I'm saying. And like I said, if there's anything that you take away from this video, one thing at all, just remember this: website is your home, social media is rented land, and that will help you. Anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you showing up. I appreciate the subscribers, the people that like the videos, and it's been pretty cool. So thank you for dealing with my hair and my face and my ridiculous nose and all that stuff. And the black and white video, I've been asked that before. When I point someone to the YouTube channel, they're like, why is all the videos in black and white? Well, first of all, I do think it fits the aesthetic of what I paint. That's the main reason. Reason number two, I want to show everybody that you don't have to be like everybody else. And three, nobody wants to see this pasty mug in color. Trust me. Have a good day.